So we're doing the double titration today, and you guys now have already got your results filled in. So I put some results that I did last year up on the board, okay? So what you need to do, guys, is you need to want to average your last two readings, okay? So I've done that there and those. And then what you want to do is you want to find the difference between the first endpoint and the second endpoint, and also pop that in your table down there. All right, clear? Now, the theory behind this, okay? Now, this is pretty tricky to understand. I don't think you're going to have to explain it, but you certainly might need to do a calculation in the exam. One of these calculations has never come up on a C1 paper yet, so I'm sort of got a horrible gut feeling that it might come up this year. All right, that's why I'm going to go over this in quite a bit of detail. I'll pop this video up on Moodle as well. So we've got a mixture of two different substances. We've got sodium hydroxide and sodium carbonate. That means there's going to be two reactions, okay, occurring today when we react them with acid. Now, if I asked you guys to write down the chemical equation for hydrochloric acid reacting with sodium carbonate, you'd hopefully write that down. Yeah, you balance it up, and you can see that we need 2 lots of HCl to react with 1 lot of sodium carbonate. But what you don't know is actually that reaction occurs in 2 steps. All right, now the first step involves the HCl reacting with the sodium carbonate to give sodium chloride and sodium hydrogen carbonate. And it just so happens that that first step occurs at your first end point, at the phenolphthalein stage, all right? The second reaction, or second step to this reaction, I should call it, it's a bit like a mechanism which has got 2 steps, okay? It involves the second molecule of the HCl reacting with the sodium hydrogen carbonate that was produced in the first step to give sodium chloride, carbon dioxide, and water. And if I added this one and this one together, you'd end up with what you'd normally write down for the reaction of sodium carbonate and HCl. All right? But that second step, guys, that occurs at the methyl orange stage. Okay? Now, we can't forget the sodium hydroxide. That's also going to react with the HCl. So the sodium hydroxide reacts as you would normally expect in a 1-to-1 molar ratio. Acid plus base gives salt plus water. That also occurs at the phenolphthalein stage. All right, so at your first endpoint, you've actually got 2 reactions occurring, and at the second endpoint, there's only 1 reaction occurring. Got it so far? Okay, let's move on. So this is how we're going to do the calculation then. So just a quick recap of what I've just said. You've got the sodium hydroxide, and you've got half the sodium carbonate reacting at the phenolphthalein. Now, my average reading was 20.06. You'll have a different one. And then at the second endpoint, that's the methyl orange endpoint, you've got the second part, if you like, of the sodium carbonate reacting, okay? And my example result is 31.2. Now, the difference between those 2 volumes is really important in this calculation, okay? So the difference is the second volume minus the first volume, and in my case, that's going to be 10.6. Right, now, because, all right, at the second endpoint, so this 10.6 is only half of the sodium carbonate reacting. If we double that, we can work out the total amount of sodium carbonate reacting, okay? So, the volume of HCl reacting with the sodium hydrogen carbonate equals the volume reacting with the sodium carbonate. So the volume of acid reacting with all of the sodium carbonate is this difference times 2. Now, I don't really care if you've understood what I've said so far. Hopefully you have. But if you don't, just remember that. All right? If you want to find the HCl reacting with the sodium carbonate, it's the difference times 2. Learn it. All right? Parrot fashion. Okay. Now, what about the sodium hydroxide? Well, the volume of HCl reacting with the sodium hydroxide is now the first volume minus the difference. Because the difference, if you think about it, is half the sodium carbonate. So the first volume minus that difference, that leaves just the sodium hydroxide reacting with the HCl. Okay? So look, again, even if you don't understand that, guys, just learn that fact there and you can do this calculation. All right, so let's have a look at how we're actually going to do that. So I'm going to work out the sodium carbonate first of all. Now, actually, if you read your book, there are two things you need to work out. You need to work out the mass of sodium carbonate in that solution that you've just used, and you need to work out the concentration of the sodium carbonate. All right, so we're going to go back to my old favorite thing, the three-step. Actually, I don't teach you guys this, do I? But anyway, we're going to go back to what I call the three-step process. That is, find the number of moles, use the chemical equation, find your unknown. All right, which you should be pretty familiar with anyway. All right, so the volume of HCl we've already worked out is going to be double the difference. So in my case, that's 21.2. All right, so work out the number of moles of HCl. Concentration times volume divided by 1,000. There's the answer, 2.12 times 10 to the minus 3. Now, from the chemical equation, all right, because 2 lots of HCl reacts with 1 lot of sodium carbonate, now the number of moles of sodium carbonate is going to be half of the number of moles of HCl, and that equals 1.06 times 10 to the minus 3 moles. I want to change moles into a mass, so number of moles times MR. This here is the MR of sodium carbonate, and there's your mass of sodium carbonate. Easy. Now the concentration, okay, well, concentration equals number of moles over volume times 1,000. Well, we got the number of moles. It's exactly the same as it was up here. Okay, times 10 to the minus 3 times 1,000, they cancel out, so that's always lovely. And the volume was 25. You use 25 of the mixture, and the answer you should be pretty close to 0.0424 moles per decimeter cubed. All right, so that's the sodium carbonate done. Let's now do exactly the same for the sodium hydroxide. So again, this is going to be a three-step process. So the first thing we need is the volume of HCl reacting with the sodium hydroxide. And if you remember, that was the first endpoint minus the difference. So in my case, that's 20.6 minus 10.6, and that volume is 10. Okay, so now the three-step process. Find the number of moles of HCl. Conc times volume over 1,000. 0.1 times 10 over 1,000 is 1 times 10 to the minus 3 moles. From the equation, number of moles of sodium hydroxide here is the same as the number of moles of HCl. All right, so there we are. We got the number of moles of sodium hydroxide. If we want to find its mass, number of moles times MR, which happens to be 40.01 for sodium hydroxide. So you should get something around about there, guys. It won't be exactly the same as mine. And then if we want to find the concentration of the sodium hydroxide, concentration is number of moles over volume times 1,000. The volume is still 25, all right? The sodium carbonate was in 25, and the sodium hydroxide is in 25. So you should get around about 0.04 moles per decimeter cubed. And that concludes this video tutorial on the double titration, okay? Pay particular attention to it, guys. I've got a sneaky feeling it might come up this year. And by the way, we are 2019 for those of you listening in the future. Over and out.